As many of you know, the Alliance Against Displacement did a tour last week of the Okanagan. We brought homeless leaders from a number of tent cities throughout the Lower Mainland, throughout towns in the Okanagan, to meet with homeless communities, identify the issues that they're facing, share our stories of resistance, and offer some suggestions for how homeless people can get organized and fight for the change that they need to make their lives better. So last week we spent 2 nights in Kelowna, and we had a meeting with groups, with a group of people from the Leon Strip here, identified some issues, helped them print out a petition, and said, you know what, over the weekend, see how many people are interested in asking and calling for some change to make life better here, and we can come back on next week and help run a press conference. So that's kind of the backstory for how Alliance Against Displacement got involved. As you saw in the press release, there are 4 demands: homes not shelters, stop bylaw stealing people's belongings, stop police entering people's tents as if they are public spaces, and provide safer heat now.
My main goal is get us all housing. There's a lot of issues out there that we need to address, and one of them is housing, because it is so cold out. A lot of us have broken body parts. We can't get up and down off mats. This is getting too cold. I have 2 broken hips. It's cold out here. We need places for all of us that have heat. We don't want to live by other people's rules. We want to do what we want to do. And there's nothing out here for us that we can afford. They're talking about buying vacant hotels and turning them into apartments, but we need apartments that we can afford. We can't afford the hotels even that are out here. The lowest one we can find is $800 a month, and that's only for single. We need something for couples and for families. There's nothing here for us, and I don't want to leave because this is my home.
Have you communicated those requests or demands to the authorities?
No, that's what we're doing now.
Through us, then?
Yeah, throughout. This is the first step. In terms of the community here getting politically organized, what we saw last week is that there's a high degree of community organization here already. You know, people take care of themselves, they share their resources, they mediate interpersonal conflict, but to take that to a political level where you're making a political voice and a political claim takes a little bit of time, so this is the first step there.
I mean, I'd like to see all of us off the street and have affordable housing so we could actually get into our own place. We can actually stay out of the cold.
We've heard what you've said about supportive housing and your criticisms, but it does represent what at least appears to be a real effort on the part of the city after a long period of consultation. Is there any concern that your approach, being more militant than what we're used to around here, will just sort of shut off the lines of communication where they won't be hearing constructive criticism because they see militancy here?
What we found in any small town where homeless people start organizing militantly is that it actually builds their power. It pushes back against anti-homeless hatred, which is a huge component of what people are dealing with on the street. So it was in the news that there were fireworks being fired at tents here. In Maple Ridge, for example, we found that once there was a tent city where people were organized, where they were holding press conferences, saying what they felt, and pushing for the change that they wanted, that kind of violence went down. So I would say that my definition of militancy is homeless people rejecting the idea that they are either criminals or charity cases and enacting their own political agency.